Based on the status quo, when the government team suggests replacing prison only with social service and training skills, they forgot one fundamental point, which is the law must carry weight. Gambling is not a harmless mistake. It is a huge crime that destroys family, pushes people into debt, and fuels further illegal activities. This is why, as the opposition team, we fully oppose this motion. We believe that justice is first not achieved by soft alternatives, and secondly, we believe that deterrence matters if we want to prevent society from falling deeper into crimes. And thirdly, we believe that rehabilitations and punishments can work together, but never at the cost of removing imprisonment altogether. So now let's frame this argument and debate. Firstly, in our world, imprisonment remains the backbone of justice. Offenders face real consequences that remind society that the law is strong, while at the same time, they can still receive rehabilitations and trainings inside the prison. And secondly, in our world, justice is delivered to the families who suffers from gambling, and deterrence can still remain intact to prevent future crimes, and rehabilitations exist not as a replacement. This is the vision that we stand for. Now, before we move on, I want to address the government team. The government team will say that the imprisonment overcrowds prison and fails to rehabilitate. But this is misleading. Our answer is that we don't need to abolish prison. We don't need to abolish prison to make it better. Prisons can and already do rehabilitate, do therapy, counseling, and skill training at the same time. So the choice is not between punishments and rehabilitation. The real choice is to combine both of these very, very responsibly. Or we abandon the punishments altogether. But as the opposition team, we strongly believe that the first option is the only path to justice. Moving on into our arguments. There are three main points argument which I like to deliver. Firstly, imprisonment is necessary to uphold deterrence. Without real punishments, offenders might think that the risk or the consequences of their action is bare minimum. So why? Why is this very minimum? And what is the impact? The impact is that a lot of people will fall more into gambling addictions if the harshest outcome is only to do community service and also skill training. For evidence, Singapore enforced strict imprisonments for gambling crimes, and illegal gambling rate remains very low when you compare it to other countries in the world. So removing prison means that removing deterrence, and society will suffer the consequences of their action through illegal gambling. The second argument is that justice for families and societies. Gambling is not victimless. Gambling creates a lot of victims. It damages families, friends, and communities. Addicted gamblers neglect their families who fell into debt, and soft punishments trivialize these harms. A lot of gambling addicts face domestic conflicts, violence, divorce, and many more. In Indonesia, Komnas Perempuan Indonesia identifies financial abuse often links to gambling. Justice remains proportional. That is the key that we need to state. Justice demands proportional punishments, and families need to assure that the law recognizes their suffering. The third argument I want to deliver is that rehabilitations can exist in prison. Firstly, skill training and rehabilitations work inside of prison, not instead of using prison as the only source of punishments. Countries like Norwegia show that prisons can combine disciplines with rehabilitations. The impact of this and the evidence is that Norway's integrated prison system has recidivisms around 20% lower than the countries that weakens their justice systems. So this proves that we don't need to abolish prison. We need to reform it while keeping the justice intact. So now let's learn and return to the motion of this debate. The debate is simple. In our world, imprisonments uphold deterrence, delivers justice, and still allows rehabilitation. But in the government side, in the government's world, all of that will collapse into a soft measures that normalizes crimes. Combining it is a crime that ruins the world and the opposition side. And as the opposition side, we are proudly to reject this motion.